wb&sons gets the first of its 8 sales in 2023 off to a really strong start on January the 28th. And now, it might be very cold here in the northeast, sub-zero in fact, but there's plenty of cars to warm us up with everything from a Fiat Multipla to a Ferrari.
And not just any Ferrari, Jeff, an ex-Rolling Stones band member, Bill Wyman.
Yes, this is one of 3 bought by the band's manager for the Rolling Stones members. So I believe Mick Jagger had a blue one and Keith Richards had a black one, and of course there's Bill's silver one, and it's here.
To guarantee some satisfaction, paint it black. I'd probably keep it this colour. Well, you know,
you say that, but Keith Richards did obviously opt to have his painted black.
It did, yes.
And his sold, only done 3,000 miles, but his sold for €345,000, and this one's estimated at just 18 to 22. So that's got to be a bit of a bargain, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I'd have mixed emotions if I was to buy that one, but anyway. There's no Rolling Stone chips on the front here. There's no moss on the seals, but then a Rolling Stone gathers no moss, right, Jess? So yeah, wild horses couldn't drag me away from this car.
It's a lovely thing, actually, isn't it? Silver with the bold, contrasting blue interior. It's in really good shape, actually. I mean, there's a few little nicks on the corners of the bumpers.
I love the interior. It's got a period car phone here. It was sold to a film producer, wasn't it, in 1989?
Yeah, Eric Fellner.
Eric Fellner, who did Bridget Jones and Fargo, I believe. The guide price, compared to what the other one sold for, you could do a lot worse. But there's another Ferrari just back here.
Yes.
That I really wanted to show. The 355, I think, is really pretty. I think they're a stunning looking car.
Yeah, isn't it? GTS, and with a manual gearbox.
Yes, really this would be a lottery win car for me. I'd have this on the drive. But I've got another Italian delicacy that I really want to show you that's got a slight Ferrari connection. So we must want to one over here.
But first, our friends at Lancaster Insurance are running monthly giveaways. You can win all sorts, from experience days to tools, restaurant vouchers and tech. So click the link below at the end of the video to enter their latest competition.
So this is your Ferrari connection, is it?
Yes. This isn't actually, unfortunately, the 8.3 Ferrari engined fire-breathing model. This is the tamer version of the tamer, although it's a turbo, 160 odd horsepower.
Yeah, this one's had the same owner since 1997.
It's a sensible guide price, but you do need to go in with your eyes open. This is going to need a bit of TLC.
Yes.
But it would be so worth it.
And only 56,000 miles as well, so there's obviously potential.
Yeah, and I think there's a service stamp up to 52 or something, so it's got really good paperwork to back it up. Talking of more rarities, I must just point out this. This is a Sierra GLS 4x4 model. So the GLS was sort of always the poor man's XR4, but this is a very rare spec Sierra. As a curiosity, it would be well worth it. It needs a bit of a tidy up, but
the 4-wheel drive system, of course.
Yeah, it needs a bit of tidying up. But if you want a more modern sporting Ford, we've just got these two 90s Ford coupes here. We've got the Ford Cougar. Yeah. In a 2-litre guise, and we've got the Puma, and of course you're a big fan of the
I am a big fan of the Puma, both sort of new edge styling.
This is only the 1.4, but this doesn't bother me. Contemporary road tests of the time seem to sort of rate the 1.4.
This is an extremely tidy example. The rear arches, which obviously are famous spot for these, are mint. The sills are very clean, the whole thing is really nice, and all the little issues that ours had are not apparent on this. It's a really, really well kept one. It has had some paint in its time, but it's not obvious, and it's really nicely finished.
I think this is one to buy, use now and enjoy, but keep it in good condition. I also wanted to point out this S-Type diesel, because I've travelled up here in an S-Type diesel, and what a car. Just such a great car to consume the miles in. Beautiful spec inside, love the aluminium trim, dark leather, and really sensibly priced. You know, this, if you want an affordable, prestigious Jaguar, this would be the one to have. A diesel W123 Merc here.
Yes.
Joe behind the camera is a big 123 fan. Diesel models are definitely highly regarded, and I think the price reflects that really. But that's enough German action. There's some Japanese stuff over here, which really must show you. Big fan of these Hawkeye Subaru Imprezas, I have to say. They went a bit off-piste with the bug-eyed one, in my opinion, but they brought it back. I think this is a really nice example. Good spec.
Aftermarket wheels on this one.
Yeah, I think they really suit it, though. It gives it a real sort of beefy stance. This is the affordable way in to what I think is a pucker Impreza. But
it's not the only Japanese car here, is it? No.
This is lovely. I don't know much about this, Jeff, so you might have to do the talking.
A Silvia S12 Turbo, and it's had a lot of money spent on this, and it's a really clean example, isn't it, as well? Look at the interior.
The interior is unmarked. Very much of its time.
89,000 miles, which for the age is very low. And just little things, it's got proper Yokohama tyres on, the wheels are unmarked.
No, I love it.
Quite a sensible estimate.
Something a bit more modern here.
Yeah,
I love these.
ST205 Celicas. I'm told are a very rare JDM front bumper, aftermarket front bumper. Nice clean example. These are great, aren't they? And I always marvel at what good values these seem to be compared to, say, a Delta Integrale. I mean,
yeah, well, Sierra Cosworth and all that sort of stuff, all those sort of rally heroes of bygone age. These represent really good value, I think. This is probably a bit more of me. I do love this Jaguar Daimler version of the XJC.
This is the 4.2, isn't it?
4.2. This is an absolutely immaculate example.
Yeah. I mean, is there a prettier Daimler than this one?
Well, it was Sir William Lyons' favourite model of the cars they ever produced under his reign. You can see why. The proportions are just stunning, I think. Lovely Alpina here, E39.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting car. This is obviously last of the line E39, but it's a V8S, and they only made those in the last year of production. Bigger wheels, bit more power, the engine was stroked. It's the one to have, but there's also an E39 M5 in the sale, and they're around the same money, they're the same age. I think I'd have the Alpina.
Well, that's all right, we can have one apiece then, Jeff, that's all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
But listen, over here, Jeff, they've basically just lined up Jeff Alley here. These are all the cars that you would absolutely love, so let's have a look.
Yeah, that is very true.
And listen, I think we're all big fans of the ADO16, but this is a particularly early example.
Yeah.
1963, right?
Second year of production, Morris 1100. I love this thing.
In Fiesta Yellow.
Fiesta Yellow with a powder blue interior. So Fiesta Yellow was a funny colour at the time. I can only speak for Minis here, but it was a real slow seller. But now it's one of those things that has really become appreciated for being a little bit different and eye-catching. And it's had paint over the years, but it still looks the part.
In Mark I guise, the 1100 is just a stunning looking car. The purity of line, very rare in this sort of era and condition. I just think it's absolutely lovely.
The great thing about this is it's only on 21,000 miles, and the amount of paperwork it comes with suggests that genuine. So I would love this. I really would. And
it was a best-selling car for many years, wasn't it? Yeah, stunning,
Quite
absolutely.
incredible.
I want to point out this Morris Minor 1000 over here. We know about Morris Minors, they're well documented. They celebrate 75 years, of course, in 2023. Hard to imagine.
Yeah,
but the Morris Minor 1000 is generally the one to have.
Yep.
This one is in spectacular condition.
Yeah, it's a 1098 car, this one, isn't it? I love it in black with the red trim. It looks so perfect for its time, it really does.
And I'm still surprised at the values of these things. Like, as an affordable way in to what I would consider to be pucker classic motoring, this is top drawer.
The estimate's 3 to 5. I mean, it's just
phenomenal.
Unbelievable value, isn't it?
Bearing in mind
Great
that the club and the parts support for something like a Morris Minor today is still, top notch. So it's marvellous. But listen, we must go over to Minis because there's a few in the sale. So
there is a few in the sale. Here are two of them. These are both Japanese imports, both of these cars. So you get automatic transmission on these, air conditioning, both in really nice condition. I love this one in almond green. They're kind of a hybrid of SPI and MPI when they're Japanese import, but it's going to be nice and reliable. It's got all the creature comforts.
I was going to say, you were talking about adding yet another Mini to your collection because you wanted one that you could go out and sort of enjoy. That's the sort of thing to go for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's got everything you'd need to use it almost as a daily drive. This one's an earlier car. This is from the single point injection era, when they were still single point in the UK as well. Now, it's a Monte Carlo. We got these in red and black, but for the Japanese market, they also available in British Racing Green, like this one is.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Again, an automatic car. Really lovely condition. Really, really nice.
Yeah, that is lovely. But one has to just look at this Metro.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Metros.
No Austin badges on it by this time, of course.
No, it's quite a late one. So it's one of the later A-series cars. Unleaded head on this one. It's a 998 manual. And it's a surf, kind of a city with different stickers on, which is essentially what it is. It's got the city trim, but it's in really nice condition. 31,000 miles, so it's quite a nice survivor. And that'll make another great starter classic, a bit like the Minor would.
Yeah, well, again, they haven't lasted. This era of Metro just hasn't lasted. So
no.
To have one in this condition is pretty special, I would say.
Absolutely.
But I also wanted to point out this glorious Nissan Sunny over here, because in many ways it was cars like this that probably killed off the British car industry as we know it, because while they may have rusted like old British cars, these brought a new level of reliability and dependability.
Well, this one hasn't rusted, has it?
No, 36,000 miles, charming little car.
This is a proper time warp.
They have rusted away, unfortunately, and not survived, whereas this one really has, and it's glorious.
They've kind of developed a bit of a retro, cool Japanese following, though, haven't they?
Yeah, completely.
It's just lovely.
No, it's a charming thing. It really is. I must just have a quick nod to this BMW E30 as well.
Yeah.
It's only a 316i, but it's a lovely spec.
Got the leather.
Dark leather, manual.
Manual, yeah.
Well, from one red German icon to another one, Jeff.
Definitely an icon, this one, isn't it? 1983 911 Carrera 2 with the Targa roof.
Yeah, lovely.
Very pretty. I love it on these BBS wheels.
Really suits it, doesn't it?
Yeah, the huge wing on the back. Yeah, it's just everything you want from a 911. It's just another example of the sheer variety in this sale, which we remind you takes place on January the 28th. Now there's all sorts here, from these Ferraris to an 8,000 mile Fiat Multipla, a 13,000 mile Golf, pretty much anything you can imagine. So for the
something
full
to suit
catalogue,
every taste and every budget, right?
absolutely. So for the full catalogue, check out the WB website, and happy bidding.
This video is proudly sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Give them a call on 01480 400 889 for an insurance quote on your classic car. And don't forget to click the link below to enter their latest competition.